Mushroom wine. How did it turn out? So, previously, we started an advanced mushroom wine on this channel, and today we are going to bottle and taste it. If you haven't seen the previous ones, I suggest you go check that one out first. This one will make a little bit more sense. However, if you just want a nice bottling tutorial, this will do that for you as well. So, this wine has actually cleared out very nicely. It's dark, so it's kind of hard to tell, but it is clear. And we started it on November 28th. That's 2022, and it was a 1.1 and it was a 1.115 original gravity. As of 12/12, that's also 2022, it was a 1.000. If you take your original gravity, minus it by the final gravity, and times it by 132, you get about a little over 15% alcohol by volume, which is a respectable one. And a little bit higher than I was going for, but I'm not upset about it. Anyway, the first thing we're going to need to do today is remove the airlock, elevate the brew, take a sip of something tasty, and get out our racking equipment. So, everything that's going to touch our brew today has been sanitized. I use Star San, but any food grade safe sanitizer at your disposal is something you can do. Just use whatever you got. I have a pitcher here, and the first thing I'm going to do is rack off the liquid. By rack, I really just mean I'm going to take the volume of the liquid from one vessel and get it into the next vessel. I'm using an auto siphon today, which will siphon it without me having to use my mouth to start to siphon up, and gravity is going to do the work for us. This one has a cap that goes on the bottom. When the cap is on, it will prevent some of those little it'll prevent some of the sediment, some of the lees from getting from this vessel into this vessel. Unfortunately, there's going to be a little bit of waste, but when it comes to homebrewing, there's always a little bit of waste, and there's very little you can do about it. One end in here, one end in here, a couple good pumps. There you go. So yeah, as I said, there's a little bit of waste. There always is. It's mostly just the dead yeast and little particles that were in the wine that settled out. No harm, no foul. It won't hurt you. You can drink it. It's just not appealing, and I personally don't want to, so I'm not. But, I mean, you live your best life. Now I'm going to give it a few good stirs. This has been sitting for a few weeks now, so I don't imagine there's much gas left in it to degas out, which is nice. It's always nice to let your brews just sit there and go. They can sit there for months if you really want. It's not going to hurt them. So there's no real rush to get to the bottling mark. I'm just ready to get there. But yeah, there's not much coming up in the way of gases. The next thing I want to do is give it a little try. It's a good brew. We took the time to make it. We might as well try it before we bottle it, right? So this is what I was talking about in the last video, and probably what I'm rambling about a lot when it comes to this brew. On the nose, it's like almost a smoky, florally kind of flavor. Kind of smell, I should say, right? It's not really a flavor yet. Or is it? Yeah, that's a... Depending on which mushrooms you use, you're going to get different scents and aromas out of them. I'm going to guess it's the dried mushrooms I used this time, but there really is a woodsy, like a burnt wood or almost charred smell to it. It's really nice. On the mouth, there's like... On the mouth, there's like a hint of citrus. It coats everything nicely. It's thick. It's not like a thin water in your mouth and gone wine. It lingers. It has a nice mouthfeel. And as for the taste, it almost tastes like a drier white wine. I wouldn't. I want to say it's sweet, but it's not. There's no actual sweetness in it. I know it's dry. I took a reading. There's no sugar left in here. So it's interesting how it plays with you like that. No, it's really good. Probably one of my favorite wine recipes. And there's reasons. You get a lovely body out of it, great aromas, good mouthfeel, and overall just really tasty wine. And as I said previously, no one would know you made it with mushroom unless you told them. That's the real fun about this wine. And depending on which mushrooms you use, you're going to get different flavors out of it. I highly recommend this one, especially to a newer brewer who's still learning about different flavors and different flavor profiles and all that other stuff. This is a great beginner type of wine because you get to play around with some ingredients and you can make this wine 100 different ways. But also, you can start to see like this particular mushroom gives this ester in my brew, or it gives this mouthfeel in my brew. And maybe you make a brew later on and you're like, it's missing something, but what? Could be a mushroom. That sounds weird. It's bizarre. But I'm telling you, it's rocking. Next, I'm going to elevate the pitcher. I'm also going to look for, here we go, my little springy thing. This is a bottling cap that goes in your bottling wand. And you want to make sure that, mine particularly, if I push it all the way, I can no longer spring it. But if I give it a little bit more wiggle room, it will jiggle. That's important, and you'll see in a second. The next step is take this little cap off the bottom. This is going to allow you to go all the way to the bottom of the pitcher and get every drop of liquid. There's no lease in here right now. We just took it off of the lease. If anything got kicked back up, it's still in suspension. It's not falling out that quickly. So you're fine. Now this end's going to go right into the bottle. And you have to put some pressure on it. You have to get that little spring cap to go down, or this will not work. Then give it a few. Give it a few good pumps, and it'll start to fill the bottle. It's the same principle of taking it out of the fermenter. We're just moving one liquid from here into a bottle. It is such a pretty color for a wine. It almost looks like a mead, even though there's no honey in here. So now, this is going to keep filling up. What we want to do is get it to come to pretty much the top of the bottle, and then pull it out last second, like that. And literally, the extra room from having the hose in there is going to give you just enough headspace. More importantly, each bottle is going to have the same amount of headspace. Just gives you good consistency across the board. Right now, we're going to wash, rinse, and repeat. So, we got 4 bottles and almost a fifth. What are we going to do next? Well, for these 4, I'm going to put them away. I have boxes I keep my extra wines and stuff in, and every once in a while I get to try one, open it, see how it's aging, and that kind of thing. This one, you can't store. There's way too much headroom. You're really asking for an oxidized mushroom wine or a mushroom vinegar if you just let it sit like that. Now, really speaking, you're not going to make a vinegar. This is 15% ABV. And acetofactors that turn alcohol into vinegar really don't work well above 10%. But still, that's still a problem to me. So I'm not going to store that bottle. I'm going to put it probably in my fridge. And then later on today or tomorrow, I'm going to drink it. Or I'm going to have it with a meal. Or I'm going to share it with somebody. The point is, this one has to get consumed quickly. These 4, you have all the time in the world to do what you want with. I suggest you let one age a year because after a year, they become much more complex. But it's definitely drinkable now. It is just such a unique and fun, flavorful wine. I can't stress that enough. It's great. Like, literally, highly recommend. If you are new to brewing, or even if you are an advanced brewer and you do this on a regular basis, try a wine with some mushroom in it. And, you will not be disappointed. Anyway, if you enjoyed watching this recipe, please let me know. Hit that like button. If you try this one, please leave me a comment and let me know how it came out for you, because I'd be excited to hear about that and see it. In the meantime, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. It'll show you all of my notifications. I have plenty of videos now on all kinds of fun recipes with interesting techniques. But really, guys, that's all I have for today. So, until next time, cheers.